everyone, my name is Indah Aprilia with NPM 100. I hope you are all in good health and can enjoy this video. In this video, I want to explain the material about inflectional. Okay, first I will explain words and grammar, lexems, word forms, and grammatical words. Let's examine following sentence. This pianist performs in the local hall every week. Mary told us that this pianist performed in the local hall every week. The performance last week was particularly impressive. The word performs, performed, and performance belong to the same root, which is perform. Perform is the lexem for performs, performed, and performance. However, the process of forming performs and performed is different with the process of forming performance, even though they are formed the same lexem. However, the word performs and performed in the sentence 1 and 2 belong to the same word class, that is verb. The word performance in sentence 3, on the other hand, belongs to the different word class, that is noun. All these words contain a suffix. Perform is, perform ed, and perform ends. However, the suffix s and ed are dependent on the grammatical context in a way that the suffix ends is not. What happens in sentence 1 and 2 is the process of word formation called inflection. Inflection does not change the word class, parts of speech, and meaning of a word. Instead, inflection is grammatically conditioned or expresses grammatical categories like tense, mood, voice, aspect, person, number, gender, and case. In sentence 1, the suffix s is added to the root because of being grammatically conditioned by third-person singular subject, the pianist. In sentence 2, the suffix ed is added to the root to express past tense. What happened in sentence 3, on the other hand, is the process of word formation called derivation. Derivation is the process of constructing new words by adding affixes to existing words. Derivation changes the word class and or meaning of the word. Okay, next, regular and irregular inflection. What is regular inflection? Regular inflection suffixing s to a noun root is the regular method of forming plurals. Example, performs, guitars, heads, tables, chairs, doors. What is irregular inflection? Irregular inflection is a kind of idiosyncrasy that dictionaries need to acknowledge by indication. Example, tooth, teeth. Teeth is irregular plural forms of tooth. Child, children. Children is irregular plural forms of child. Man, men. Men is allomorphs of men. Ox, oxen. Oxen is allomorphs of ox. Go, went. Went is suppletion of go. Good, better. Better is suppletion of good. So from the examples here, an allomorph has similar phonemes as its root and suppletion, and its root does not have any similar phoneme. Okay, this is the example of regular and irregular. We can see in the slide. Regular, perform, performed, play, played, book, books, pen, pens, big, bigger, biggest, low, lower, lowest. And irregular, go, went, give, gave, tooth, teeth, most, mice, good, better, best, bad, worst, worst. Okay, next, forms of nouns. As we know, inflection in nouns expresses grammatical category, which is number, regular forms adding the suffix s, and irregular forms allopons zero suffix like deer, fish, sheep. Most countable nouns in English have two word forms, a singular and a plural. Inflectionally, for any noun lexem x, there are just two grammatical words, singular of x and plural of x, contrasting in number. Thus, to the lexeme cat, there corresponds a singular form cat consisting of just one morpheme and a plural form cats consisting of a root cat and the suffix s. We have noted that s is the regular suffix for forming plurals. Irregular suffixes expressing plurality include a, and a, as in kikti, formulae, phenomena. Okay, this is example. I saw a cat in the garden. A cat is singular. I saw some cats in the garden. Cats with suffix s is plural. And then next, I saw cat in the garden. I think the best we can to express the intent content of tree is use a circumlocution like one or more cats or at least one cat. Okay, next. Forms of pronouns and determiners. What are pronouns? In morphology, the behavior of words which belong to open classes, namely nouns, adjectives, verbs, and adverbs. Their classes are so called because their membership can be added to and indeed in aid to constantly as new words come into use. By contrast, one does not expect in English encounter a new pronoun, a word such as I or she or us, or a new preposition, a word such as in or at or without. Okay, this is example of pronouns. He loves her. She loves him. He and him are sometimes said to contrast in case. He belonging to the nominative case and him belonging to the accusative case. This kind of inflection has only a marginal role in English, being limited to pronouns. But if we treat, say, he as a lexeme, we must recognize it as having two forms, he and him. It is striking that the relationship between nominative and accusative forms is consistently suppletive, as in I or me, she or her, we or us, and they or them. Except that for you, the two forms are identical you. This is consistent with the fact that pronouns are very common and suppletion affects only very common words such as go. Corresponding words with a possessive meaning, his and our, as well as my, her, your, their, syntactically and semantically, these words fulfill just the same role as noun phrases with the apostrophe s. This is another example. His bicycle means the bicycle belonging to him. That man's bicycle means the bicycle belonging to that man. Okay, next, what is determiner? Determiners deserve a mention here because some of them, like nouns, display a singular plural contrast, and pronouns combine a singular plural contrast with contrast unique to them between subject and non-subject forms. Okay, this example. The distinction between this and that. These are the singular and plural forms of the determiners that sum this. The determiners that and this demonstrate the number contrast can have a grammatical effect inside noun phrase as well as between subject noun phrases and their accompanying verbs. Okay. Next, forms of verbs. A verb lexeme has at most 5 distinct forms, as illustrated here with give. 3% singular present tense, give us. Mary gave us a lecture every year. Past tense, gave. Mary gave a lecture last week. Progressive participle, giving. Mary is giving a lecture today. Perfect or passive participle, given. Mary has given a lecture today. The lecture is always given by Mary. And then basic form, used everywhere else. Give. Mary may give a lecture. Mary wants to give a lecture. Mary and John give a lecture every year. The contrast between present at Mary gives a lecture every year and past at Mary gave a lecture last week is contrast of tense. The other dimensions, of contrast manifested in Mary give us a lecture every year. A present third person versus the rest. A number singular versus plural, just as for nouns and pronouns. Okay, next, forms of adjectives. Many English adjectives exhibit three forms. For example, green here. Grass is green. The grass is greener now than in winter. The grass is greenest in early summer. The grammatical words that green, greener, and greenest express are the positive, comparative, and superlative of green, contrasting on the dimension of comparison. Other adjectives with similar forms are the example, positive, comparative, superlative, such as happy, happier, happiest, long, longer, longest, pure, purer, purest, untidy, untidier, untidiest, good, better, best. All these exhibit a regular pattern of suffixation with er and est, except for better and best, which are suppletive. Okay, from the material I have described, we can conclude that inflection is a process of word formation by adding suffixes without changing the class of word. It only depends on grammar method. Okay, I think that's all I can say. I hope this explanation is useful for all of you. Thank you for watching. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
It's my life.